It's been a grueling 2 days for these players, and we are left with 2 people. And funnily enough, it's Seed 1 and Seed 2 in the tournament that are playing off against each other. In the south side of the map, playing as the US forces, it is our #1 seed, Orangepest.
Yes, and he's played very well, especially in the last set of rounds, dominating Hulk, or Smashing Hulk. So we'll have to see how Theodosios does, who was himself in more of a grueling battle, though still victorious against Gibber. But now he's coming in with the Vermach, with a interesting, slightly different build, 2 Pioneers and a Grenadier. We'll have to see what that pays off with, or what the purpose of the extra Pioneer is. Maybe just grabbing territory. We shall see. But for the time being, the 4x4 with the extra veterancy upgrade is engaging him, and slowly, actually, to take that back, he dove in on the engineer or Pioneer and lost quite a bit of health.
That's actually a massive amount of health lost for the Jeep in the early stages. Has not been a good, well, you can call it a good trade because the Jeep can repair, but that Jeep is going to have to be out of action for a while and loses a bit of its early game power. There was, of course, no Kettenkrad for it to hunt down, so it's been a bit of a ghost chase, we'll call it.
Yeah. Although, I will say, it does get that self-repair that's cheap, not cheap, it's free. So, fully healed up, it's ready to go. Luckily, Grenadiers built some cover, so at least they have some defense against it. Alright. Meanwhile, more riflemen are being deployed. We have an MG42 by Theodosios on the field. By the way, we're on Twin Beaches, correct?
That's right.
Okay. I'm terrible with these map names, so I want to make sure. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that this is Twin Beaches, but
this one's fairly obvious because there's a beach either side of the map. So
yeah, you think that?
Check.
You think that, but I'll find a way. Well, for the time being, the 4x4 staying back, grabbing that 16 munition point. Down south, that's what the Pioneers are grabbing, at a 10 munition point with riflemen on their heels. Looks like that one Grenadier is in cover, but being hit by 3 different units. Gonna need support. Luckily, the MG42 comes on in to try to help against the Scout and the 4x4, but it needs something to help protect it against the riflemen coming in from behind. A lot
of early game aggression, as expected, from the US forces. For Theodosios, I actually do like the double Pioneer start because you want to get a lot of those field defenses in the right positions at the early game. You still get that increased capping speed, so no real loss there from having the Kettenkrad, and maybe he'll even get a Kettenkrad later on into the game for vision.
Yep.
But right now, it's a great setup with these MG42s. Just I wouldn't say they're controlling the left-hand side of the map because he hasn't got the territories, but they're doing great work at just wasting a little bit of time whilst Wehrmacht finds their feet.
Yeah, and here comes a rifleman on the right and the 4x4 on the left, catching the MGs out of position and forcing them back.
Confirmed. Light vehicles can now raid enemy territory.
All right, so Theodosios is on the retreat. Down south, riflemen are grabbing the fuel closer to the Wehrmacht's base. Do we have any special units or something coming out? Looks like just an AT gun. So, or not an AT gun, sorry, a Flak 30. I immediately see them like, AT? No, Flak 30, which is in itself a pretty good counter for light vehicles and a solid counter for infantry with good suppression.
Yeah, it's actually an excellent choice on a map like this as well, where you do have a lot of kind of small corridors that open up into large open spaces. The Flak is perfect for that.
Exactly. And let's see, right now though, Orangepest going with, we have 3 riflemen. We also have a captain on the field, so with that infantry support. And he's already building the tier 3 American base, so we could see ourselves a Greyhound, or yeah, probably a Greyhound. Let's not kid ourselves. This is probably gonna be a Greyhound.
This is gonna be a Greyhound. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's already got the fuel for it as it's building. His fuel rate is soaring at the moment on plus 33. You know, from having that fuel point capped just to the left of the center of the map, and that's going to be a really strong point for him to get those units out as quickly as possible. I think from Theodosios' side, we're going to have the 221 come out. So again, going to need to get the 80 upgrade on that unit as quick as possible, really, just so that there's some form of defense against the Greyhound. But Greyshot, one of the things I wanted to just point out to you is, like, in these top level games that we've been casting today, I mean, how rare has it been that anybody actually techs up any of the upgrades from the training centers? Do you know what I mean? That anybody boosts any of their kind of units' health, or you know, we didn't see it with Brits, we're not seeing it with US really.
No, you're not wrong. It's been something where I think the player's been more focused on specific units rather than just boosting what they currently have already. Especially for those tiers. I'm not sure if they just don't see the upgrades as necessary, but when you see some of the bonuses being like 25% reinforced costs, and we know for a fact that oh wait, hold on, Greyhound going in that 221, Black is there, but he might.
It's not a good move though, because it's reversing around the arc of the flak. He's trying to get back into the smoke, but overall, that did not go the way that Theo wanted it to. We don't normally see him make mistakes like that.
No, not at all. Like, I don't know if it was like he just backed up and realized he couldn't go all the way around the house because of that fence and the trees, but it was not a good position to be in for him.
Does pick up the Jeep though, on the munitions point in the west of the map.
Hold on. Wait, hold on. Wait, I'm so sorry. He lost the captain. He lost the captain and a rifleman squad, unless I'm mistaken. Because he had 4 riflemen and a lieutenant, or not a lieutenant, sorry, a captain. So while, if that's the case, then while, yeah, he lost the 221, it's probably a lot more impactful that the American lost a bunch of his frontline infantry.
Just looking for the bodies.
Yeah, that's it.
Which is pretty grim, but I'm pretty sure it's where the fuel point is at the moment. Actually, from the truck to there's actually a blood trail. If you look, there's a trail of blood and bodies, and I think I can identify the lieutenant cap. So yeah.
Well, if that's the case, good kills on his part, because again, that might give Theo a little bit of room to counter, even though he still has issues. I mean, even the 4x4 died. Like, I was so busy on the 221, I completely missed all that.
Well, so did Orangepest, and he's seed #1. So you know, give yourself some credit.
But
I mean,
coming out again with the Jaeger squad with the Shrek. We got Flak ready to go to back up that MG while it repositions.
Territory sector lost.
Even though with all those losses, Orangepest has got total map control here. Could be about to change with the arrival of the armored car. Just needs one shot from the Jaeger infantry. But I think they were reloading when the Greyhound was still in range. You're going to make the decision, I think, not to chase with the armored car. Not really a need for that.
Yeah.
And interesting, you know, Orangepest throughout this tournament, he's been taunting a lot of his opponents, saying that, you know what, I'm going to play this game at 50% of my power levels. I think in one of his games yesterday, he upped it to 70%. But he's been quite, we're not going to say cocky, but he's been quite confident.
I mean, when you have a player saying I'm only fighting at 50% power, that's pretty cocky. Oh wait, but this Greyhound might
have to increase it a little bit after losing all of those units.
Yeah, Greyhound survives being direct shotted. Hold on, or 8 red, sorry. Greyhound barely makes it out.
8 HP. Yeah, that's.
Damn. But some good counters, some good territory grabs, and I like how he's like, let me heal my 8 red and grab the territory at the same time. Little stuff like that really helps. But American forces are no joke. They're replenishing their ranks, and they have bars on them. Some of them actually double bars, making them a serious threat to any lonely grenadier or other troop that just pops their head out.
Get on with it.
Ah, here we go. So actually, we were just talking earlier about the upgrades from the Infantry Support Center. Orangepest has actually teched up for munition surplus, so he's reducing the recharge times of his infantry abilities by 25%, but more importantly, the cost of upgrading those bars is now a 50% reduction. So it's only 30 munitions to get that second bar on all the squads. Really good time to upgrade it when you've got 4 bar riflemen.
Yeah.
And, you know, that massively saves you a bunch of munitions for basically 15 fuel. So it's a really good teching choice from him. That's going to instantly lift the power that he has in his infantry.
And something that... Okay, so although his infantry have to fight now, not 1, but 2 8-rads that are on the field. Theo really going... or doubling down on the light armor. We do have ourselves a Chaffee on the field, so we still have to worry about that, but... Oh, I'm curious. I'm very curious to see if these 8-rads can make a play here. Greyhound firing long range, slowly wearing down the 8-rad. Oh, but here comes the Chaffee on the flank, and no Jaeger squad anywhere close. Chaffee gets a kill. 8-rad trying to go for the Greyhound.
That is a huge moment. The armored car just trying to get the rear armor of the Greyhound on the right-hand side of the map. The MG42 is pushed away there, but most importantly right now is this armored car about to go down. Smoke is popped, but it's just a waste of munitions. It immediately reveals itself afterwards. We're now looking at an early triple VP cap for Orangepest.
Yeah. But don't worry. He has another 8-rad under his belt.
Oh, I worry. I worry at that decision.
Yeah, no, it's just so many now popping on out. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they're fine, but now we're starting to see more allied armor. And wait, does Orangepest have the last base out? Is the question. Does he have tank depot? No, he does not. So he doesn't have to worry about Shermans yet.
A fuel point is being lost.
But Orangepest has the fuel to make that building. Alright.
Super risky. Theodosios. Oh wow. Just gonna call GG there and then.
The Greyhound wiped one of the units. On the retreat, so unfortunately did not pay off for him very well. So he probably is like, I lost too many units. I lost the Greyhound's gonna be too much. I have to end it here. Hello everyone, I am Greyshot. I am joined by Stormless, and today we're casting Game 2 in the finals between Theo and Orangepest, as you can see, as they have a good friendly shake of hands, saying good luck to each other in this matchup. We are on Twin Beaches once again, except this time Theo is the Americans and Orangepest is the Wehrmacht. Bringing a similar energy from the last game. Orangepest deciding to get double pioneers. But in this situation, we have the Kettenkrad trying to be as silent as always, going backwards. Now, Stormless, for those who are maybe tuning in, why is this Kettenkrad going backwards?
So the Kettenkrad reverses because it makes a low noise profile and cannot be picked up through the fog of war by the Jeep. It's something that I think has just kind of been brought to the attention of the community at large through this tournament, but it's a really nice thing that players are utilizing in their early games, making it really hard for Theodosios to hunt with the US Jeep.
Yep. That Jeep, by the way, that already has Veteran C1, thanks to the Armored Battle Group, seems to be a popular battle group today. I think it's been the most picked. Now, they've also gone with the fast deploy, so we could get this baby out a lot sooner. But the question is, right now, what else is he deploying? And that would be a rifleman squad in the back, more in the southern territory, trying to grab stuff. The 4x4 and the scout units are more in the north or in center, grabbing that victory point. But MG's now set up to hopefully counteract that 4x4 with pioneers also moving on in. Oh, now they're hanging back to try to grab the munition point.
I quite like this, how he's just kind of testing where his opponent's units have come onto the map. Probably knows roughly what the build order is going to be. The Jeep now getting into a position, also reversing, so it can stealthily pop up on the engineers. Sorry, the pioneers.
I do that all the time, like, grenadiers, pioneers, engineers, oh god.
It's the Falchion pioneers that are getting me at the moment.
Yep, that too. So right now, 4x4 actually takes some decent damage. I don't know if that's just because of the pioneers good cover, or maybe a mixture of that and the height, but he's going to pull back and use that free heal to get the 4x4 back up. But nice work with the Cattencrad trying to cut off some territory in the south, but just barely is unable to as Rifleman walk onto the point with a tiny sliver of a territory under that the American had left.
You could see he was looking just to push them out of the point a little bit for the decap. It's a great Ketten play. Just saying earlier, I'm very reminiscent of those OKW base building trucks on launch for Western Front armies in CoH3. It's nice to see that kind of thing back into the game with early game units, just making it as hard as possible for the opponent. And Jeep right now trying to put huge pressure on this MG42. Retreat hasn't been ordered yet. This is highly risky. I think he's just trying to bait that Jeep there so that the Grenadiers can get on. But he's actually, he's trading the men from the Grenadiers to the MG42 just to keep it in the engagement, only to retreat it now. Not sure what the decision was made for. No real benefit to staying there.
Does he? He does not. I was like, maybe the Faust, like you mentioned, but no, he doesn't have the requirements for it yet. So,
no.
Yeah, not sure what the call was, but he is going breakthrough. That is a call that he has currently made, and he's already gotten upgrades for his Grenadiers. Now with MP40s. Again, this assault package is very strong compared to the assault Grenadiers of CoH2. I prefer these men over those, especially because they have the Faust still.
Yeah.
Now, while things are currently being healed or currently getting back up, it looks like a lot more of the forces from Orangepest are now moving back into mid. Rifleman extremely low, probably won't be able to take much. Yep, he's going to immediately retreat.
Rapid production protocols are in effect.
Oh, speaking of low units, that 4x4 is... It needs some heals.
The enemy has
It's down to 24
It's
health.
got them. It's got them coming up. Self-repair. Whilst capping. Whilst gunning enemies down.
221 scout card deployed.
You know, why not get
coming
everything?
out with 1-star veterancy.
Yeah.
For nothing. Is there anything else? Oh, and it can tow heavy weapons.
Why not? But here on the field right now is the 221 by Orangepest being very aggressive, trying to go after the scout units. The American infantry does not have a grenade, so he can't stick it.
It's a nice press on the scout squad.
Absolutely.
Theodosios. That's the kind of thing you want to be doing right now. If you're on the back foot as Wehrmacht, trying to get the drop on a few squads and a bit of map control. But actually, if you look at that +10 fuel point in the center, having that with the 2 +16 munitions points on the left and your own fuel on the right, that's a huge resource income for
will not be reinforced without your permission.
Orangepest.
Alright. Maybe Theo can counter it with his new Greyhound that just made its debut onto the field of battle. Backed up by the 4x4. He's going straight in for that MG in the middle of the territory. And unless we see that... Oh, we just did. 221 just got that additional AT weapon. Lassie hits the cover, so it's...
The enemy has flanked our sector.
Oh, but nice use of the white phosphorus rounds.
Reinforce all squads that require it.
Forces the infantry back. Down south, we have the captain and rifleman trying to grab territory. Might be able to keep the pioneer and Jaeger squad at bay for a little bit. More worrying is up north where you oh, never mind. The grenadier immediately retreated.
Research completed.
2-2-1 going in by itself against the Greyhound. Gets the shot off.
Yeah, it's a massive hit, and then all that time just spent repairing it immediately wasted, and the process has to be repeated. Actually, what Orangepest is doing here, very strong play. He's got good recon in the center of the map, and then he's got strong units on either side, defending the VPs, defending those high resource points that are going to allow him to get through the mid-game quicker. I actually really like what he's doing at the moment. There isn't a clear direction for Theodosios to go here. He has the Greyhound, and he couldn't easily, I think, deal with a lot of what Wehrmacht has on the field right now, but the question is, where does he want to go and take and hold? What's more beneficial to him?
Yeah. No, not wrong with that assessment. Also, like, I'm assuming the next upgrade he's going to get, probably to help counteract those MP40s, would be bars, but still, even if he gets that, it's going to be a little bit of time before the riflemen are able to be at parity, or, you know, slightly better if he gets double upgrades against those guys. So no matter where he goes, it's going to be a bit of a tough fight. Luckily, looks like a grenade was able to force the grenadier to retreat in the north. But now he's starting to press in mid, and that's where that 2-2-1 is located.
Some really good kiting with the Greyhound there, just allows him to get a shot on the 2-2-1. Just threaten it a little bit. There's now a second Greyhound on the field, so if he did decide to rush that, we haven't got any Panzerschrecks upgraded on the Jaeger infantry yet. However, one is in the process, so Greyhounds have a limited time to charge.
Especially if you can hit Orangepest when he's not expecting it. But hold on, maybe he will now. He's using the reconnaissance scan, so he should be able to see both of them. Yes, he does. Or, yes. And he has the Jaeger squad guarding against the Greyhound in the north.
The enemy have taken our territory.
Another excellent shot. 4x4 goes down thanks to the Jaeger squad. And right now, Theo came in with more armor, but with limited resources, Orangepest managed to actually score a kill.
Yeah, all these squad losses, or even just losing something as basic as the Jeep, it's a unit that is pretty essential to spot good routes for the Greyhounds. Potentially in the later game, necessary to allow the AT guns to be effective. It's a big loss.
Yeah.
For a small unit.
And right now, what we're seeing is Orangepest getting a tank depot. So he's going to get that, or Panzer Company. He's going to get that operational. And my assumption would be save up for a Panzer IV. So clock is set. Theo needs to make some moves with these Greyhounds in the early game, hopefully neutralizing the 2-2-1 whatever he can. Because if he doesn't, or doesn't slow down Orangepest fuel income, the Panzer IV will absolutely be able to push around those Greyhounds.
Resources cut off.
You know, one thing I'm not 100% sure of is, so both of the Greyhounds have been veterancy upgraded with the spotter ability, which increases accuracy of other vehicles nearby. But I'm wondering, is that ability stacking? Because I don't know the answer to that. If it is stacking, and both of those can be kept for an easy 8, you're looking at some powerful late game units coming into play.
Yes.
It's a big if.
What was it? It's like the Italian M1 Caros, I think they were, where they could just stack off each other before they were tweaked. But there was a point where you see a bunch of these things just overwhelm Shermans. It's like, well, why is their fire rate so massive? Why are they doing all this? They just bounce off each other. Greyhound tries to push north, but is unable to really make much headway. Fortunately, Jaeger squad pushes back the Greyhound that was in mid. And Orangepest is a minute away from being able to purchase his first Panzer IV.
One thing you've got at the moment, by the way, is Orangepest using the Kettenkrad. He's got the reconnaissance scan on, so his vision at the moment, he can see very, very far into the entrance of the enemy base and see what's coming.
Well, he didn't see that coming. 221 just got KO'd by I believe a mine and a successful hit from the Greyhound. It's in the north, up by the Northern Star, right in front of it, closer to Theo's base. But still, that's a nice little kill right there. Fortunately, here comes the Panzer IV. But if he can use the Greyhounds, maybe get another pick or two in the meantime, that could be worth it. Get some great shots against the Jaeger squad.
I'm impressed that the Greyhound can land shots like that at that angle with that many obstacles in the path.
Of course, it's a Greyhound. Need I say more?
Still impressive. But yeah, you know, you're talking about Panzer IV coming in for Orangepest. We're still only at motor pool tech for Theodosios in base. It really does seem at the moment, without that tech up to tank depot, that he's going to wait maybe for easy 8s, but he's a long way off. He's 10 CPs away from easy 8s at the earliest right now, so he needs to really start getting up onto his tank tech, unless he's going to provide some sort of infantry-based or support weapon solution to tanks. He's leaving it pretty late to make those decisions.
Alright, Panzer IV scares off the Greyhound, but it did work. It did weaken the MG. Pioneers grabbing the northern victory point to stop the bleed. Right now, Riflemen are just hanging around mid. Oh, wait, actually, hold on. We have a cutoff from the Jaeger squad. Cutting off a lot of territory in the south.
Improved vehicle production is in. All vehicles are now cheaper to
Good
produce.
cap.
Ketten did go down in one of the engagements in the center as well, so again, just knocking out any of the recon for Orangepest. It's going to be a big blow.
Yeah.
He's been using that really well and to great effect.
We have 300 points. Confirmed.
Alright. But now we're starting to see...
We have anti-tank.
Alright, let's see. Orangepest's army size is about 63. Theo's about 56. And
Forces are converging on a fuel
Theo
port.
now has not one, but 2 AT guns. But again, it's just positioning them right. But if he can have it in a good spot, he can absolutely keep that Panzer IV at bay and then use the Greyhounds to focus on infantry. But hold on. Nice Faust on the Greyhound. AT gun is out of position. Panzer IV going in for the kill.
Damn, Greyhound has been destroyed.
Excellent snare on the Panzer IV. Do you have a bounce? Shappy
Without
running
that
on
bounce-
in.
Yeah, without that bounce, I'm pretty sure it would have been a penetrating hit and a kill of the Panzer IV, but Chaffee, I think, is diving in a bit too much here. Is it worth it? Okay.
We lost the Chaffee tank.
Well, he killed the Panzer. Positive. Negative, he lost 2 vehicles doing it.
Defend our victory point. We're losing it.
Theo still has a small advantage. He still has 1 Greyhound remaining. And if he needs to, he can deploy another Chaffee since he did just get the War Machine. It is cheaper on the manpower department, but I would assume at this point you want to save up for just the Easy 8 or a Sherman or something else is better. Because those Jaeger squads, their Shreks will just pulverize the Chaffee.
A lot of these engagements, and just sensing that Orangepest's,
We have riflemen.
you know, his instincts are a bit better here. You can see that he's using the Jaeger infantry to kind of bait the riflemen to blob up towards him, and then he's already got the MG42 set up in a position to suppress, and actually a lot of what he's doing is just really well planned for. Every time he steps out anywhere, he's always got the counter, he's always got the answer to everything that Theo's throwing at him. And just a quick look around to see if there's any mines at the moment in positions that may catch the Greyhound off, but I can't see any at this moment.
Alright. Right now, it looks like Greyhound is moving more north. There was that Pioneer there. So if there are going to be mines, Might be too far off. I don't see anything. American forces moving on in with double bars, but the MG stops them, and they're dead in their tracks. Oh. Now we have Stoke trooping on the field. I don't think we've seen them the entire time we've played, or we've covered these matches.
There's been a big lack of that unit present in the tournament, but it's a pretty strong unit. And it's definitely going to make a difference here because most of Theodosios' army right now is going to underperform against that unit.
Now under enemy control.
Yep, and right now I will say we're seeing a new Chaffee be deployed. The counter though is the fact that we're probably going to see a Panzer IV out from Orangepest here soon.
I think he's potentially writing himself out of this game too with some of these decisions, because I can't say that the Greyhound is performing that well. It does have 5 infantry kills, but that's it.
Nope, 7 now.
7 infantry kills, but that's it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It has not been the bane to the Axis that probably Theo wants it to be. And I think it's in part thanks to these Jaeger squads just being very good at just keeping that thing from diving in for a kill or going after more squishy targets.
Yeah, it's one of those maps as well where I'm not sure when you push deep with the Greyhounds or the Chaffies that there's enough open space, you know, to actually flank properly.
Yeah. No. Although, speaking of flanking, the American infantry are managing to finally get around one of the MGs. The Jaeger squad drops smoke on the retreat, but it's still a rout. And at least 2 American frontline forces are moving in for the fuel. And
The enemy is moving on our strategic point.
fortunately, the Pioneer once again goes for the cutoff.
Victory point is under enemy control now.
If there was a Chaffee in the build, it has been cancelled.
Oh, okay.
Enemy won't let up. We're down to 250
I mean, he has 13 fuel coming in per turn. He's saving up for a tank depot. That's going to be a little while to wait. Oh, instead he's going for survival training.
That's interesting.
Trying to boost his infantry. I guess he wants to win these fights against the Grenadiers. And to be fair, we haven't seen armor out, so I don't think... Yeah, Orangepest is going to go for Panzer. I think he's going to go for a Tiger. But even then, it's still going to be a little bit of a wait.
Yeah, it gives Theo a little bit of time to regain some territory, which he's desperately going to need if he is going to put up a fight against the Tiger.
Yeah. Up here come the grenades in the south against Riflemen. Luckily, good dodge right there. And I think he has double bars. He does, which actually is helping him hold its own against that unit.
Defend our victory point.
Fortunately, MG42 in the south with a Jaeger squad will probably keep him from stopping him from taking the victory point, which will be a triple cap then. And Theo does not have a lot of victory points to spare. Oh, hold on. Good use of a mortar. Did he just get that? I think he did. Or
Commander, the enemy holds on.
maybe it's more. Maybe I've just not noticed it. But good use of it. Forced the MG out of position. Allowed the Jaeger squad to be hit more by those riflemen without the fear of suppression.
We're losing a fuel point.
Sadly, hasn't made a massive impact though. What's really pressing right now is VPs, of which Theodosios has just dropped down below 200. Orangepest still very, very comfortably sitting on 450, and he's got suppression platforms and infantry presence across all 3 VPs on the map currently. So a lot of work to be done by Theodosios here. Fuel is climbing, CPs are climbing, but he's 3 away from easy 8 call-ins if he decides to go for it.
The allies have only 200 points.
Tiger Tank has been picked by Orangepest, though he is, while he's the fuel, he's at least 2 minutes away in manpower.
We have lost the sector.
Yeah, Theo's a bit farther out from that easy 8, but he's getting closer, slowly but surely. Greyhound might be able to help with that, pushing him from the south. Can we pick that Grenadier?
10. The fact that he merged that Grenadier into the machine gun, but is Theo targeting the Grenadier? I think he's just adjusted. Gotta take that down. Has to take this down.
There we go. We do have double Jaeger squads forcing the Greyhound away, but it's still a pick against Orangepest.
Receive.
That will absolutely help, especially since we know that Theo just invested so much into his frontline forces. The less Orangepest has means the better these riflemen and the captain will perform.
Yeah, every moment like that right now is really important, and it's great to see Theo getting a bit of map control back. But more importantly, getting the 2 fuel points out of the 3 on, sorry, not the 3, but getting the key ones on this map under contest on the right and the center is going to mean that he can start working towards a tank that's going to rival this Tiger coming in.
Yeah. Again, he's still 2 command points away from getting the easy 8, or, you know, requesting it. But, meanwhile, Orangepest is about 20 seconds away from getting a Tiger. Nice dodge of that grenade over the fuel. But a nice artillery strike from the captain forces the MG out of position. About down a third of its health.
There's no helping him.
200 points remaining on our front line.
So great. All right, great hold by Theo on the fuel, so at least we'll be able to hold that. He's now at 33 fuel per turn. But unfortunately for him,
Enemies down to 200 points.
the Tiger has made its appearance and is heading straight for the victory point in the north.
Reinforcement with help, Commandant.
I actually think he's in a pretty good position right now. He's, I mean, the Tiger is very, very good. It's going to deal a lot of damage everywhere it goes, but it is relatively slow. It can be held back with a Hellcat. There's the 2 AT guns there that are going to stop it, you know, from getting too involved in a lot of these engagements. I actually think Theo has done the right thing here by going for those survivability packages. I am starting to see there's a couple of mines that have been laid down in enemy territory, but one thing he's got to be careful of is not putting his AT guns so close to the mines, because he may end up taking a loose shot that may trigger it.
Yeah, you don't want friendly fire to be the reason why you lost an AT gun.
No, absolutely not.
But
Stray shells normally reveal that mine lane's taken place.
and I don't know if this is the right. I mean, unfortunately, the rifleman down south got hit by an MG42 and forced back, so that's not a good sign. Double AT is keeping the Tiger reversing off the fuel in mid. Pioneer going in for the north. Also, Theo going for the tank depot rather than going for the easy 8, or at least he's not just going to save for it and just purchase an easy 8.
Interesting choice. I mean, yeah, it may have been his initial plan to get something from that tier, because he went for War Machine before going for Easy 8, you know, so, but that was a long time ago. I mean, he teched that and never really gained the resources for it. Some really good play by Theo with the Greyhound, just picking off units like the MG42 in the center. I think the threat of this Tiger is so strong that Theo's having to be really, really careful on the left-hand side of the map.
Yeah. Oh, Jaeger squad about to hit. Does hit the Greyhound before CMG back, so Rifleman might be able to keep that squad away. But here come the Grenadiers and the Stroke trooping into the middle fuel, backed up by a Jaeger squad. And the Tiger. That's a lot of very powerful units all pushing in this very similar track.
I think these Grenadiers may be the ones that trigger that mine if the unit just walks into it. Potential that the Tiger still could. They haven't seen them. I don't think there's been many mines triggered yet, so I'm going to see a need for minesweepers. Here we go.
Alright, got 2 models off that. Weakens Grenadier a little bit. We do have a Hellcat in production.
Hellcat has been completed.
Again, it's not the best tank, but it's the, in terms of what he could deploy, but it's the best one in order to keep that Tiger at bay. For right at this moment. Otherwise, he would still be probably saving up for the easy 8.
Supplies are cut off. We have holes in our
You
front
can't
lines.
really put all of your efforts into just 2 AT guns, which are static. You're gonna need something mobile to kite the Tiger. But it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, just the presence of 1 unit on the battlefield and how it changes the dynamics of play. Suddenly, you know, Theo is not making those deep dives as he was previously. A bit more cautious in his approach now. Positioning's become really important. Look at that hit from the Tiger.
Yeah.
4 models wiped.
And right now, again, both sides, army-wise, is still very similar. Frontline forces, again, we're looking at Theo probably with a slightly larger force. But really good defensive plays, and also good MG placements, I should say, by Orangepest. That's really helping keep cut down the riflemen.
Yeah, I can't help but think, you know, if the Greyhound was just go over there, it could force the retreat on those squads immediately. It is heading over there now, but so hard to make that decision because it's going to require micro that is desperately needed on the left-hand side of the map.
Yeah. Meanwhile, another MG grabs Southern VP. Rifleman trying to fight it off against all this, but he's so spread out with his current rifleman squads. He won't be able to grab that middle fuel.
Captured a victory point.
Alright. A couple squads of riflemen will take back the Southern VP and hopefully munitions as well. Hellcat is lying in wait with those AT guns.
We're losing it.
Tiger maybe moving north to try to neutralize the riflemen. He's hugging the corner, but that seems to be the direction he's headed.
I feel like it's a bit too slow to deal with the pace of everything that's going on in the map at the moment, but Panzer IV is the next vehicle to arrive on the field for Orangepest. That's going to be out in a second, and that's going to change the dynamics a little bit in that now the Tiger can kind of dominate the left, and now you've got a vehicle that is able to take and push the VP on the right-hand side. So for Theodosios, it's terrible news, I think.
Sector now under enemy control.
No, absolutely. Because now he has more armor he has to worry about. But Theo, maybe anticipating this, or maybe being like, you know what? Again, I'll use War Machine and maybe Seek and Destroy to its maximum effectiveness. Gets himself another Hellcat.
It's a smart move, I think.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you ever use Seek and Destroy, that is extremely effective in having 2 Hellcats, maybe being amplified by the Greyhound, right?
Near our munitions point.
Yeah.
Could absolutely make that a powerhouse of formation of units, especially if there's an opportunity that all the Jaeger squads around the Tiger are gone. Then he wouldn't have the AT, and then he could strike.
It's really hard to pull this off, though, because just the design of the map, it is a bit cramped. How are you going to get those 2 Hellcats there? You're going to have to drive through a lot of counters. But I think that button's about to be pressed. Don't see Seek and Destroy, though.
Oh,
just
no.
a dive.
Again, fire rate, speed, and accuracy are increased, for those who don't know, for that. Greyhound is being hit by the air squads on the side. Hellcat's coming in. It's very low, but the air squad is coming back. They were not pinned. Tiger is down, but so too is the Hellcat.
Our barracks are under attack.
Well, I mean, it's a good trade.
Maybe not. Look at the
Hellcat,
Panzer
that's how
IV.
it
It's
is.
currently murdering a lot of infantry back at base.
We're pinned down.
A strategic point is being claimed.
And right now, that's
Yeah,
that's a lot of manpower. Theo can't lose right now.
Reports of enemy movement.
I was gonna say it takes a really good player, you know, to be taking a massive loss like losing the Tiger in a game, but turn it into a strong counter-offensive. A lot of players would be completely absorbed in that loss, but Orangepest just used that dive as an opportunity to reclaim the VP's total control on the map. Theo's gonna call it GG.
Excellent match, I will say. Yeah. I am actually a little shocked Seek and Destroy was not used. I would assume that would have been the play.
Amazing. Well, here we are, Game 3 of the Grand Finals of Operation Clash. And we really are looking at potentially the last game if Orangepest can close it here. Currently 2-0 up in this series and playing as the US forces on the left side of Road to Tunis.
But the reason, ladies and gentlemen, why I had such a big smile on my face, because on the right side, we have Theo going with the Doc. The Africa Corps has finally made its appearance in this tournament, and with it, the Bersaglieri are doing an interesting walk right there, slash run onto the manpower point. With them, we got ourselves a motorcycle team in deployment and also a Panzer Pioneer trying to grab as much territory. We've not seen these guys. We thought actually it was going to be Orangepest deploying them, but no, Theo giving it a good shot. He has lost the last 2 games, so maybe this is his Hail Mary in order to get a Game 4. Best of 5, so he needs to win here, otherwise it is GG for him.
Absolutely. So many players in this tournament have, well, I think nearly every player has picked Wehrmacht, so let's see what the curveball does for Theodosios here. Will it be enough to throw Orangepest off? Orangepest, of course, #1 Deutsche Afrika Korps player on the 1v1 leaderboards in auto match, so there shouldn't be too many surprises that Theo can throw at Orangepest, but it will definitely disrupt the pacing that has been so common with US Wehrmacht in this tournament.
Yeah, let's see. So right now I'm just looking. We have ourselves another Bersaglieri squad on the field. For the Americans, we actually have a 4x4 with 2 Pathfinder and a Rifleman. So now, unlike the Cat and Krat, which is somewhat defenseless, and what am I saying? It is defenseless. This motorcycle team does have an offensive weapon, so we'll maybe see if it can get some good shots in. It'll still need support, but the funny thing is, you have Bersaglieri running very fast next to it. Hopefully, they can just overwhelm a lot of these American forces, especially as they get additional upgrades, such as the additional men and, of course, the Brettas. Similar to the bars that the American troops have gotten in earlier games.
It's a really epic opening to a game, actually. There's tons of action in the south already. Positioning here, a couple of models hanging outside a green cover could be sealing the deal for the Bersaglieri. But it's so nice just to have early engagements with these 2 light vehicles just kiting each other. And the Jeep nearly going down in the engagement.
Yeah. Bersaglieri's still chasing, but he's about to run into a Rifleman and a Pathfinder squad, so I don't think he's going to be able to get that pick. In the far north, looks like the Pathfinders are slowly winning their battle against the Panzer Pioneer, but get a little bit more cocky and are jumping right into the fray, getting point blank on that Panzer Pioneer. They lose a model, but they successfully win their battle.
Absolutely, and don't forget, you know, Theo has had both the +10 fuel points in the north and south on the map at the start of the game, so he's enjoyed quite a good resource boost. He's already going into his light support company, so hopefully going to get some healing. Be interesting to see what his tech is going to be here, because obviously Deutsche Afrika Korps, the flak half-track is pretty potent against US.
Someone in chat did bring this up, but it's a fair point. The 4x4, it's rare to see it without Veteran C1 automatically on it. But that's because, again, he went with airborne battle groups, so he got himself Pathfinders. But don't worry, similar to the last game and the game before, we have the captain making its appearance.
Defend our victory point.
I'm sorry, I don't know if you're watching the Northern Victory Point, but that man being on fire on the Jeep,
Enemy activity near
but
our
he's still firing through it. Pretty good. Pretty good stuff.
It's like Knight Rider.
Yeah. Bursalary looks like just trying to edge out a win near the center, but I think paratroopers are deploying close by, so I don't think they'll be able to stand up too much against that.
We've lost control of a sector.
Theo doing some dangerous capping with his Panzer Pioneers
Yeah.
on the munitions point there. If they get sighted at all, they're going down. Motorcycle has just been caught off guard by the Jeep. I think it'll be able to escape
does.
well enough.
With like a third health, he manages to get around that rock.
But what is this three-man Bersilary squad doing? Just poking his head out there. I think to defend, one of the really difficult things that, you know, you're looking at Theo's army right now. He's going for the 8-rad armored car. It's a really good decision. It's absolutely what he needs. It works for Wehrmacht. But all of this is coming at the cost of healing for him. He's just not able to give that 200 manpower for the medical trucks. So engagements are
Enemy forces have taken
a little bit difficult when you're using squads that cannot get back to full health.
Exactly, and he could get that if he got himself a medical truck, but alas, it doesn't seem to be in the cards right now. Instead, we got ourselves an 8-rad on the field, hoping to come on out. Again, this thing, we've seen in previous games, pretty solid unit. But the thing that separates this from the Wehrmacht is all these upgrades. So, essentially, you get upgrades ranging from emergency repairs, vehicle capture, all this stuff that can really help the unit survive and dish out even more damage. But that requires manpower, and that's one of the biggest weaknesses of the dock is manpower. But so far, looks like most manpower we might see is actually Orangepest losing it, as the 8-rad and Bursalary force a massive retreat in mid.
Yeah, you want to see really high impact on arrival for the armored car. And this is a little bit about we talk about throwing that curveball in as Africa Corps. The timings are slightly different. The play style is slightly different. And Orangepest is diving in with the same old build, so
Which
an opportunity here. Loving the map control though, really. I just think Theo's putting himself in a great spot. But once again, you know, the VPs are just in favor of Orangepest. They have been in every game.
Yep. I will say as well, if he finally got that medical truck so we can finally heal his men, so that's good. I would want to say that the American, the American player already has his medical truck out. So, I mean, medical facility, so he's fine. Alright, we do have a, I'm assuming it was airdrop, but we have an AT gun that is at least on the field. So the 8-rad has something to worry about. The American troops, though, don't have snares, so if he gets close, the Americans right now can't lock it down.
Sector lost. No contact.
Oh, wait, here we go. Bazooka team on that paratrooper squad. 8-rad still using its range to hit them. Paratrooper can't hit the 8-rad. Again, just a good kite right there.
We're up, boys. That zone looks good enough for us. Get to it.
Yeah, I really like that. If you can play super carefully with the armored car, you'll get big payoff for it. Good range where your enemy can't take you, and it's nice, you know. Theodosios realizes the bazooka squad's at the bottom, so he's just going to take the 8-rad to clear up the top. Really good resource management.
Absolutely. And if we do start seeing, and I think this is one of the reasons we saw an AT gun rather than something else, like a Chaffee or something, but the dock are also have very cheap light AT units. So it may be more proficient to get a bazooka team and an AT gun. That way you don't have to worry about, like, let's say the Martyr.
must take it back.
Nice push there with the Panzer Pioneer using its flamethrower to push the rifleman out of the center building. 8 Rad just overwatching, hoping to get some strikes against the paratrooper squad right in mid.
Crates of grenades are on their way to us. Chaffee light tank is accounted for.
Now burst.
Interesting for Theo, by the way. Just like looking, he's in his battle group. He's obviously picked the Cedarteal, however you pronounce this.
Yeah.
But he also did go for the assault gun on the right side of the tech tree, but isn't utilizing it. And of course, he's just moved himself a little bit further away from getting weapons upgrades on his infantry, which I thought would have been the priority here.
I mean, yeah, getting the infantry upgrade is, for most players, I would say, unless, I mean, Theo doesn't have a ton of fuel. And again, that assault gun is really more AT. It does have functionality as an assault gun, but really it's more like an SC-76 in terms of effectiveness. I'm hoping that he has some plan, whether it's a strafe or something else, because he's a lot of munitions under his belt. But then again,
he's gone back onto the other side now and picked up the squad increase. So I don't know if maybe he just couldn't make the choice.
I don't know what's going on here. He's pushing it against the Chaffee. He's dropping smoke, but Orangepest just fires straight through it.
Oh, here it comes. He is building the assault gun that is coming in. Interesting to see what this will hold.
Survival of that 8-Rad is definitely not it. Let's see. Chaffee does not engage. Wait.
Get to cover!
I don't know how. I'm assuming it destroyed the wreck, but I love how it counted as a kill for the assault gun. It's like, guys, I killed the wreck. It's definitely a kill. We definitely did it.
Where's my medal?
Yeah, where's my medal? Alright. American forces overextending a little, maybe. No, he retreats before he takes any significant damage. Another grenade forces the captain back. 4x4 retreating in the north.
We have vehicles available in reserve.
But one thing that you brought up was Orangepest on map control, and he's still doing it. He still has a ton of solid map control across the entire front.
300 points remaining. Say again, 300 points
I think
remaining.
he really knows when to push, where to push.
God damn it!
Yeah.
So,
Capture point is being neutralized by the
every
enemy.
time his opponent leaves an area of the map, he's right there. You can see it in the south right now. Pathfinders just on top of every resource point the moment it gets left. Armored car needs to be careful there. Paratroopers are trying to push it.
Got a couple hits in, but nothing too substantial for the 8-Rad. At least they're grabbing all the territory. Ursulari trying to hold on to the northern VP. At least he decapped the middle VP too, so he stopped the VP points from going down. Oh. Flamethrower might allow for a bit of damage against the rifleman, but yeah, he's not going to survive very long.
Gone for a second assault gun. Theo has. So I think he's just looking to try and sweep the top of the map. At least get rid of the Jeep. That would be a pretty good pickup. Just not got that turret in order to allow it to take an effective shot.
Yeah, it took...
A victory point is being taken from us.
some high explosive shots. Alright, but the AT gun repositions. Chaffee might be preparing to move on in. I don't think he realizes there's two of them.
Even so, he's going to get rear armor. There's a side hit first, but...
Oh, this is a bad time for Theo to have both of them looking away.
I really feel for Theodosios just without having infantry upgrades, because he's invested so heavily in this unit. Theo says, what the hell, that pathing?
Yeah.
If that was intended by him.
Territory is isolated.
No snares on his unit.
We're probably going to see the end. Yep, there he goes.
All victory points are
Yep.
under enemy.
And that's it. It's over. It's a 3-game stomp for Orangepest. We never found out what his 100% looked like.
No, we did not. But I still enjoyed it. I still thought we had a good set of games. With him, with what he had. So, yeah, no. Again, Orangepest showing why he managed to get through this entire thing very easily. He's one of the best players, and he showcased that. So maybe next time we'll see someone go, bring out his full 100%. But I'm still happy that we got the games we did today.
Absolutely, yeah. Massive congratulations to Orangepest. As far as I'm aware, didn't lose a single game in the event. From the time he started in round 2. So a clean streak, and definitely sets the standard for top level Company of Heroes 3 play. Just fantastic showing. And also, yeah, well done to everybody that played in this tournament, the games that we cast today. It's been a really good event, and hopefully on the next tournament we get to see some of the players that didn't quite make it to the event, like Zulu, Steven, and Pax Ajax.
Again, life always happens, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, but hopefully in this case, again, new opportunity. Metaplay sees this, says, hey, we'll do another tournament, and then all 3 can jump on in and show their skills, maybe even defeating Orangepest. Might be a bit of a climb, but you never know. Like, especially if we're bringing in anime tactics of I'm only using 70% of my power. Come on. It would be absolutely an anime thing to do for someone to climb the ranks from nothing and manage to beat the champion. But, yeah.
He's put a massive target on his head by the way he's composed himself through the tournament.
Yes.
The taunting of players, the cockiness of his 50% only during his games. I think we'll be waiting for the day that here he is in chat right now saying easy. Someone's gonna take this guy down.
Orangepest just said easy in the chat. All right, we'll see. We need Goku and Frieza to team up. Hey, that's in Super. That's not Z. But we'll see. We'll see if someone's able to take down Orangepest. Although I will say, I think Orangepest has a lot more personality than Jiren. But beyond that, again, thank you once again, Curry, to Metaplays, to Olvadi, everyone who worked behind the scenes. Just the players today, Orangepest, Hulk, Smash, Theodosios, Gibber, you all played amazingly well. So thank you guys for an amazing set of games that we covered, that AE covered, and of course all the other players that Imperial Dane covered, those casts that didn't get covered yesterday that he played. Seriously, thank you to all the players. Thank you to the people behind the scenes. For the most part, everything went extremely well on the technical side, except for a few issues on my end, so apologies. But thank you guys so much for every one of you for tuning on in. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed this tournament, because I enjoyed most of the games today. I thought they were all really damn good. So.
Absolutely, yeah. And thank you to Greyshot. Massive contribution to the scene again, donating to the prize pool. So huge credit to yourself as well. And a pleasure casting with you again.
Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17, and before y'all go, let me give a special shout out to Patreon supporters Joey G240, Milam, Big Cooch, Aphyria, Ace, Pyro Shark, Tonybee 95, Epic Pleb. Thank you all for your incredible support in helping me grow my channel and support my channel and everything I do. Thank you, and to the rest of you, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.